So, starting today's video, I wanted to talk about one of the most anticipated games people are waiting for this year, which is Highguard. Wow. I just got to say, as somebody that sits there and plays a lot of games, especially free-to-play games, I have to say that Highguard is one of those games that is a massive warning. Big red flashing warning to the industry. That is not a way to, I guess, shadow drop or show off a game. It's just not. It's not at all. And this is coming from somebody that plays a lot of first-person shooters, somebody that loves those games, plays free-to-play games, and thinks Apex Legends is one of the best games around. I'm talking about one of the best BR games around. I've been playing it since its launch, and this Highguard just seems like a poor imitation from the people that created that game. Yet it seems like maybe the leadership didn't understand the assignment or something was going on. All I know is that they needed something else. This wasn't it. And during the Game Awards, everybody was waiting in anticipation, waiting for that closer, that last game. They say it on Xbox's game show and every other game show. Just one more reveal. Well, that one more reveal was Highguard, a game that nobody saw coming, nobody knew what it was, and they brought this out and put it in front, and Keighley made this whole big show of it right before Larian Studios' big game reveal. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I don't know. And honestly, they've vanished since. Gone. The studio hasn't done anything. The Twitter account hasn't done anything from my understanding. Nobody's done anything on it. It's just gone. Nobody's heard about the game. They're not marketing it. It feels like they're trying to do what Apex Legends did 6 years ago or 7 years ago, however long ago, in 2019, I believe. And they're not able to do it the right way. I think that is the problem. And so we're going to go into a couple articles that are talking about this. Big articles, not small publishers that are covering this, but actual news articles that are like, hey, where's this game? Where's the marketing at? So let's get into a few of these. As far as world premieres go, there's none more coveted than the Game Awards closer. But being the headliner comes with huge expectations. It's a billing usually reserved for legacy franchises, seismic returns, or ambitious new adventures which justify the evening's crescendo. Yet this year, Jeff & Company's climactic showcase was unfamiliar. And this is the first problem. Seeing no amount of studio pedigree, flashy gunplay, or horse-riding ballistics can heat up Highguard's chilly response. It walked onto a stage warmed up for a giant, but instead of awe, it drew collective whiplash. Look, the community, hyped earlier in anticipation, is now colder than the Antarctic Peninsula winter. You wanted Bloodborne 2, Half-Life 3, or maybe even The Elder Scrolls 6, but instead, you got this. I have to agree 100% with this. When they showed off Highguard, I was just sitting there like dumbfounded. I was like, this is your one more? It gave me kind of reminiscent of last year's Xbox showcase where they're like, just one more game, and it ended up being Call of Duty Black Ops, which, okay, we all knew it was. Why? Why is Call of Duty the last game? Why not Gears of War? Why not some new franchise? Maybe Fable, something else that you want to show that we're hyped for, not Call of Duty that we know comes every year. And that's what this last thing was. It was Highguard coming out of nowhere and being like, hey, we're going to show this gameplay off for you, and it's going to look awesome. And I have to say, one of the things that's really annoying about this whole thing is that they really tried to do what Apex Legends did. And Apex Legends, as I've said before, is one of my favorite games. I love it. Yet, it didn't drop at the Game Awards. It didn't drop at some big event. It dropped on like a random Thursday or Tuesday or something, and there was nothing. They brought out the trailer to Apex Legends as the game dropped. I remember streamers flocking to it. I remember people jumping on it like, oh, I can play this right now? That was the magic behind Apex Legends. There was only about 2 BRs at the time, if I remember correctly, which was Fortnite and PUBG. Those were kind of the big ones walking around. Everybody was playing them. And then Apex Legends just drops. They had the cinematic trailer and then the gameplay trailer, and it all looked awesome. That's what they did. Shock and awe. Enjoying everything about it. And so when we see this new game drop, unlike Apex, it gets a little frustrating. Because Apex Legends and the creators of Apex Legends apparently made this game. So how are you going to not understand what made it special? It was the tight gameplay, the gunplay was awesome, and it was entering a market that wasn't saturated yet. The PvP market, while there was a lot of games out there, there was mainly just Overwatch as the hero shooter that people enjoyed. And Apex Legends kind of found its niche to jump into that BR and be like, hey, we can take that hero shooter, but make it competitive, PvP, and also make it into a semi-open world battle royale, which everybody loved. And it made a lot of money. It was very successful for Respawn and EA. And honestly, the people behind it, which is Respawn Entertainment, who basically just don't miss, killed it. They absolutely dominated everything about that. And it was a lot of fun. So I don't know what to say about this other than you didn't do this right. It's a poor imitation of what Apex Legends did and how well they did it. That's the whole point of this whole video and the whole point of why they have gone radio silent. It's as if they went on the biggest stage, dropped a lot of money to have Jeff basically introduce this and close the show out with Highguard because they want it to be successful, which of course you do. It's your game. You've taken a lot of time to make it and put a lot of money forward, and it's a big chance. But you didn't do it the right way. I mean, they put up there, right? Made by people that made, Apex Legends and Titanfall and all of these, ex-developers of that and blah, blah, blah. Yet you didn't understand what was so special about the games that you made. It was not just the gameplay and everything. It was the marketing, but the lack of marketing and the surprise of that drop for Apex Legends. That's why Apex Legends was so popular. It was new, it was fun, and it was great, and it was free to play, which your game is, but they didn't go on some grand stage, have trailers where people can continuously look at it and critique it and all of that, because that's what's happening now in this industry. A lot of people will drop trailers, and then next thing you know, people are looking at the trailer again a couple months later and saying, that wasn't that great. I didn't like that trailer. Oh, this. And the community just picks it apart, and the next thing you know, it looks like crap. And that's what's happening to Highguard. Highguard's a warning. If you're going to bring out a free-to-play game, which I have to say is a very saturated market, you need to be prepared to stand out. And not in the way Highguard is right now. They're not standing out. They're having a lot of problems. And I feel that's kind of what's happening in this article and what they're talking about here. But here's the kicker. It is fair to label Highguard DOA already. Scroll through forums, Reddit threads, and comment sections, and you'll struggle to find a positive word. No one has locked in their favorite role, yet disrelish is spilling everywhere. Surely there's more to this than the deflation in Highguard's premium place in the Game Awards running order. Yes, you've grown to expect something else from the closer, but the timing of a reveal doesn't indicate a bad game. Maybe there's another problem, genre fatigue. Put simply, Highguard is another multiplayer PvP with guns and magic. You've seen it already, and you've seen it fail. A decade ago, hero shooters were all the rage. Now every one of their shared traits carries the weight of decline. However, this announcement shouldn't be seen as the first step towards Highguard's failure, but as a referendum for where the industry is. Are hero shooters out, or is it possible there's miles left in the tank? That's a good question, because while Apex Legends, I think, is a great game, it has kind of fallen off when it comes to people playing it. I do ranked in that still. I play it every now and then. I enjoy it. I like playing it there. I feel the shooting is tight, and I have a good time with it. But when you try to play ranked, the queues are a little bit longer. It takes a little bit of time to get into games, and that's because a lot of people have gone to other things. Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, and one of the big ones, which a lot of people play, is Valorant, another hero shooter that kind of has the same vein as Counter-Strike, which Counter-Strike is one of my favorite games of all time. So when you have all these games competing for gamers' time, where are we going to go? I feel like it's too much. Another battle pass, another free-to-play game, all these things coming up, and what do you expect gamers to do? There's like 20 games that were announced at the Game Awards. There's a bunch coming from Xbox this year. GTA 6 is just around the corner, and you want us to play this free-to-play game now that comes out in January with no marketing behind it, and you basically try to make it, oh, this is like Apex Legends, but you have a bunch of stuff that you go for, and you attack, and then you raid your enemies, and it's like, I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what the game's about. I guess it's a hero shooter that you get loot and move around. PvP, I don't know. And you being silent about it is not helping either. It doesn't seem like you're doing what Apex Legends did best, which was bring out a cool game, let people play it right away instead of critiquing the trailer, They weren't able to because the game was right there. They could just try it out, play it, and see what it was. And it was awesome. A lot of people liked it. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do and how they're going to go about it. But over time, we're going to see. Do I hope the game is at least a little decent? Yeah, I do. But man, is it hard to kind of find that silver lining right now. Because every thread, every video, it's hilarious, bro. It's like Concord 2.0 or just a bunch of things of like, hey, we're going to get an announcement soon that this game's going to fail. And I don't want any game to fail because these are people's hard work put on it. But the way you marketed it or announced it was not it. You're not doing that. You're not doing yourself any service. Making it on the biggest stage for one of the biggest shows of the year and closing out that show and then you just sit there and walk away. Nope, can't do that. Can't do that. Gamers can smell that. They can see that. Like, nah, you're bringing this out. This is cool. You're trying to make it a big show, but you're like, hey, and then you get to play this in a month. It's like, man, a month from now? You're going to let us see this and make fun of it because it just looks weird and we don't really like it and we just had Concord fail? Like, can you imagine this developer making this game and then seeing Concord and seeing how Concord failed and be like, we're way different than that? It doesn't look way different. We've seen this before. The article's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. The industry's talking about it. Hero shooters have been around for a while. And while there hasn't been some big explosion of popular ones everywhere, we still know what they are. We've still played them. How are you going to stand out? Because right now there's finite time for gamers. There are so many games going on right now. There's so many games coming out that you need to have everything on lock if you're going to bring something out. It needs to have awesome gameplay, awesome story, depending if you're a single player game, and you need to have kind of your thing to draw people in. Marvel Rivals, while not the biggest fan of it, I know why it was so big. It was because it had Marvel, which is very popular and global, to kind of pull people in. It had that little X factor of like, hey, this is for Marvel fans, but also hero shooter fans. So it kind of stuck around. Was it the best game of the year? No, but it got a lot of traction. This one is just characters we have no idea about. You're putting it on the biggest stage. Nobody knows what it is. It's an introduction. I feel like if you were going to try to imitate what Apex Legends did, you did it wrong. You should have done it way better. And you should have known that this was going to happen if you brought out a hero shooter on the biggest stage and just have gamers rip it apart. I just, I don't know. That's just what you need to do. And going radio silent is the big thing, which is what the article talks about. But we have seen absolutely nothing from the game since its showing last month. No deep dive, no teaser, no gameplay trailer, absolutely nothing. And that's a massive red flag. There are only a couple of weeks left before the game launches, and time is clearly running out. But that's not happening, is it? The bottom line, any pushback Vanguard receives at this stage is rational, not cynical. You might think you're rejecting it because it sucks, but really, you're protecting yourself. Years of broken promises, slow innovation, and overwhelming emphasis on loot boxes and other bits to scrape more cash out of you leaves every new hero shooter facing an uphill battle for your time, attention, and money. That is so well put. This is awesome. This is Gaming Bolt. They had such a good article. I just needed to talk about it because that's true. Every time something comes out, free to play or all this, I just get tired. I don't want to buy another battle pass. I don't want to give you guys more money to play a game. I am starting to move forward to like games that I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to play Counter-Strike and probably Teamfight Tactics and Apex Legends. Those are probably going to be my 3 free-to-play games, so to speak. I have so many other things I want to play that I've paid for that I'm okay with that. I kind of have my niche. I kind of like settled in. Now, unless something crazy comes out that I think looks awesome, sure, I'll jump into it. I'll give it a try. But that doesn't look like something that was awesome. It didn't stand out to me. Highguard just looked like a game that any other game I've seen. I mean, do we know how many games have come out that are just taking players' times, trying to get their money, trying to be, make another battle pass because we want reoccurring people to buy things? They're trying to do what Fortnite did. They're trying to do what all these other free-to-play games that have been successful do because they just want your money. And I don't like that. I think that's a warning. I think that's a cautionary tale that you need to tell developers and publishers, hey, just because you can make it doesn't mean people want to play it. That's just a fact. Just because you think it's going to make money doesn't mean it will. Make sure that you have a good vision behind it, why you're making it, who you're making it for, and that the audience is prepared for it. Not, hey, does Do we have a replica of this everywhere? Is there 6 other games that looks exactly like ours? No, but we have horses. Gives it. Okay, you have a horse. You ride around. You throw some spells around. I've seen that already. There's plenty of games that have done that. Plenty. Like they need to figure something out, because it's getting kind of ridiculous at this point. I'm actually really sick of like the free-to-play games and all of this. And every time people are like, oh, are you checking out this new game? Because it's free to play. You could download it. And I'm like, probably not. I got my free-to-play games. Can they make something else? Can they go down a different, I don't know. Can they go down a different aisle? Like, just make something else. Figure it out. It's not that hard. At least I don't think it is. And that's what this is happening. That's why there's such a lukewarm response to this. Because Highguard is getting just destroyed online. I'm looking at it right now. Multiple articles, multiple news articles, people talking about it. It was ended the show, and then now there's articles like, hey, where did it go? What happened to this thing? Well, the developer's probably sitting there going, what do we do now? Like, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at all these things up here. It's just like, what do we do now? I think they're trying to figure it out. I think they're regrouping. They're like, do we delay? Do we bring out a gameplay trailer? Do we try to frame it into something else? Do we show some of the cool stuff we have? I think it's too late. I think you should have just leaned into it. Started bringing stuff out. Be like, hey, we understand. Talk to the community. Be like, hey, we get it. Our bad. But here's some cool stuff that we think is awesome. Here's some stuff that we are different than the competitor. Not just here's a trailer and then radio silence and nobody sees anything. Like, people are looking for stuff on Twitter. This game gets traction online. Like, let's be real. And I know it's because people think it's because of the negativity. I think it's because people are a little interested. I think people are like, it looks all right. Like, I'll check it out, but I haven't heard anything. There's nothing going on. And all I'm seeing is negativity surrounding it. I mean, that's what it is. Looks like an imitation of other games. And here we go. And I don't know how they can jump back into this without getting even more critique. So who knows? And maybe the gaming world's not ready, which is what the article puts up here. So maybe you are absolutely not ready for Highguard. Not because it's set to blow your mind, but because it's landing at a time where even the best ideas can suffer through hardship before turning things around. The challenge is set, and Highguard has everything to play for. With a January 26th release date, though, the countdown has already begun. If Wildlight Entertainment uses that short time to demonstrate a clear, confident identity for Highguard to answer why we should care, then all the widespread resignation could still be flipped to belief. I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. With the pedigree of developers you have there, if they're truly from Titanfall and Apex Legends and all of that, you have time to kind of flip this around. And honestly, I think people would talk about the game if you did. If you talked about the game and it's like, hey, this is what it is. We have confidence in it. We're very hyped about it and we're ready to go and we feel like we did some good stuff, then hey, I think people will check it out. But right now, there's nothing going on. You took the biggest stage in the world for gaming and then vanished like a fart in the wind. I don't know, man. Like, just put something out. Talk to the community. Talk to the people that are playing your game. Talk to the people that are, is there beta testers? Does anybody play this? Like, I want to know if people have tested this or anything, or did they just Apex Legends? They're just going to drop it, but not really like Apex Legends. It's weird, especially with high competition like Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders that is dominating online. Arc Raiders has they're just holding on to all their players, man. They don't mess around. The game is going well, and I think that Highguard maybe is dropping at the wrong time because of that. Maybe a little bit of Arc Raiders has taken the thunder of the new game that's come out, that's online, that's social, and people are enjoying together. There's so many people, so many new streamers that have kind of grown, and because of that game, so many new people have talked about that game, and it's a lot of fun. People that I know that don't PvP are playing that game. And then Arc Raiders comes out, and people are like, I'm not ready for that. I'm kind of liking this style of game right now. So who knows? Either way, I would like to know what you guys think about it. Do you think that Highguard is coming out at the wrong time? Do you think that it should have had some marketing behind it? Do you after the game show, do you think that the Game Awards and all that, do you think they should have been like, hey, this is what it is? A little bit of a deep dive into it? Because if they were trying to do the Apex Legends thing, they did it wrong, obviously. You can't just walk away for a month after showing the game. I feel like you need to show us a little something. Do you think a little bit of a deep dive, a little bit of a gameplay, seeing people play it, being like, hey, this is what it is? Or do you think that it's the damage is done? Do you think that the games market is too saturated? People are not going to play this. Let me know down below, because I honestly want to know what the community thinks. And as for me, I'm going to check it out, but I don't think it's going to stick around. That's just me. I hope it does. I hope every game is a success. I hope every game does well. But man, this just seems like another, like, here's a battle pass, here's some skins, here's some characters, here's some heroes. Apex Legends, basically. And plus, I don't see the point of skins in first-person shooters. I know, controversial, but that's just me. So, yeah. But also, like always, let me know what you guys have been playing. Have you guys been playing Apex Legends? Have you guys been playing any other game lately? Let me know down below, because I always like talking about games and what people are playing right now. Like I said, I've been playing Counter-Strike, Teamfight Tactics, and of course, Avatar. That new Avatar game, or not new, it's like 2 years old, but that Avatar game that they brought. I'm saying that it's new because that third-person view that they brought out is awesome. It's awesome. It looks great. And I think the world looks amazing. So if you have that game and you bought it a while ago, recommend you check it out. I do. I recommend you check it out. So yeah, that's all for now, and see you in the next one.